Dr. Marshall Hanson, developer and educator of the Marshall Hanson Method for non-invasive smile enhancement. As you're likely aware, over the last year, we have been conducting a 4-week residency program to give doctors all of the tools, experience, and confidence necessary to implement this method successfully in their own practice. It's been exciting to document each of their experiences with us. And I'm excited to introduce to you our most recent graduate resident, Grace, and have you hear her story in her own words.
My name is Grace Jen. I'm from Oklahoma City. I'm the owner of Hera Cosmetic Dentistry. I came to Dr. Hanson to learn the skills that he has through his 4-week residency program. And one of the things that really triggered me was I've been following him on Instagram. And once I sold my practice, I realized this is what I wanted to do, and I needed to gain the skills in order for me to offer that to my patients at the level that he's offering it at. Previously, maybe 2-3 years before I came to the residency, I did his online course, and I just didn't feel like that was enough because I was trying to implement some of the techniques, but it wasn't working out. And when I went in for the in-person, I gained a ton of the skills and a lot of the questions answered from his method. The program is a 4-week residency program, and how I came into it was I did 2 weeks and I took a break, and I saw actually a couple of patients, and I tried to implement a couple of his techniques, and I realized I needed to go back to fine-tune a lot of the skills and questions I had. So I finished out my 4 weeks. When I first approached him, I did it through text. And I was like, so is it $7 grand for the 4 weeks, or how does that work? And it was $7 grand per week. And honestly, I was like, wait, that's a lot. And then I had to really take myself back. And it's one-on-one. And I was willing to pay Coice or Frank Spear or any of the classes that we go to that we're always trying to get into. And it's like $10,000 per 1 week for a class of 30, if not more, and you don't get that one-on-one. And we talked about like, okay, maybe if you're going to Coice, you're learning all the different things such as perio, occlusion, photography, but I'm learning all of those things with the Marshall Hanson residency too. And the unique part of it is he's working on patients, and I can go in and see anything that he's doing while he's working live, and I can go in and ask him questions, and if I want to see how he's coloring or how he's layering, I see it right there live, or I can see it on a huge TV monitor as he's working live with the patient. The other thing I really like is he's talking while he's doing the procedure, and he's working on the live patient, like, okay, I see that distal is a little bit larger, so I'm going to take my flat disc, so I'm going to narrow that down. So he's talking you through his mental process of what he's seeing and how he's going to fix it, which is really good to hear. And so you have all of this sensory of being able to ask the question, seeing what he's doing, practicing what you're seeing, getting feedback on what you're doing. It's been quite invaluable, and there is no education or residency program that is quite like this. I think a lot of dentists are exactly where I was. I used to run a very large practice with multiple associates, running so many chairs and doing every single procedure, but I knew I loved doing cosmetics, and I knew I loved doing composites. But I couldn't get out of that rat race of that large overhead. And when I came to visit Marshall, I saw this business model that he had, and it worked for him, and it was working well. And it really inspired me to just say, you know what? I quit. I'm done with this rat race, and I switched over, and I actually just copied his business model, and I started it about 2-3 months ago. My stress level is so low and my overhead is so low that even if I'm not seeing a ton of patients and I'm just doing one procedure, a week, I've covered my overhead. And I don't have the stress of a large staff and paying everyone and buying all of the different materials and supplies. It's just been a real blessing to know that, hey, I don't have to practice the way everyone else practices, and I can practice the way I want to practice, not only in the business part of it, but do the dentistry that I love and how I want to do it, and offer patients something that is beautiful and also my best, my very best, by giving them my full attention, and also something that's going to be good for them, rather than going down the street and getting their teeth shaved.
Grace, I had so much fun with you. I loved spending 2 whole weeks with you. Some of it was just one-on-one, and some we had more residents at the same time, and then you got to come back for another 2 weeks. What got you to be interested in coming out to this residency program? So why did you do it? What was your experience those first 2 weeks? And what happened when you went home, and why did you come back?
Prior to coming out, I actually did your online course, and I did that several years before. And then I sold my practice, and as I was selling my practice, I was watching your Instagram, and one of your residents came on and was talking about there's this in-person residency program. And so I contacted him and I was like, yo, how was that residency program? He was like, it was awesome. That's what made me schedule the first 2 weeks. First week I was by myself, the second week I was with the resident. And I felt very discouraged because I was doing some composite bonding. I've taken a lot of composite bonding classes, and I was doing some already. And I was like, bro, I'm gonna breeze through this. This is not gonna be that bad. And the first case, you were just flying through. And I was like, why am I so far behind? Why is this not working? I was so frustrated. And I was actually embarrassed to say, hey, I do some composite bonding on patients, like almost like I'm doing a disservice to my patient almost. Like I felt bad as a dentist. And then the second week, it got better. A lot of big corrections, but I took several months in between my first 2 weeks and the third, fourth week. And what I did in between that time was practice on some patients, some of your techniques. And it was a little frustrating the first two or three cases. I was quite disappointed, and I was, like, oh my God, should I go back to my old method, But I stuck with it. But I realized there's a lot of things that I needed to get better on, that I needed questions answered and fine-tune my skills. So that's why I came back the second time for the week 3, 4. But even while I was practicing with my patients, that little break between week 1, 2, 3, 4, I saw improvements. I saw your method working. And then I started to realize how important the things that you were saying to me, like, hey, framing is pretty important. You have to get this right. And I was like, why do we have to spend so much time framing? Because we're gonna have to frame again. and then once I saw the results on my patient, I'm like, that problem was because I didn't frame right. That's where that problem came from. And so a lot of the things that you had said week 1 and 2 started to come into practice when I did it on patients. And then now, my last week, I feel a lot more confident. I feel a lot better about my technique, or your technique, and how I'm applying it. And I feel like, hey, I can do this. It's not Marshall Hanson, but it's close.
Yeah.
It's close, and it's only gonna get better. If this is my bottom, I have so much more to go.
So on this accelerated path of yours, as you're progressing with this skill set, what is it ultimately that you're aiming for right now, that you're like, okay, I accomplished what I was out there for?
I want to be the best in Oklahoma City, and eventually best in Oklahoma, where not only are the patients recognizing, hey, she's actually really good at what she does, but other doctors realizing, I can't do what she's doing without shaving down the teeth. And even my ceramists can't even copy that. That's where I want to be. I really want the respect of my colleagues. And I want my colleagues to say, hey, I can't do it, but I know someone who can.
Grace can do it.
Let me send it. Let me send it to
Grace.
her. That's what I want.